What has happened is, from the great heritage that we've got and the Vedic system, is the classification you are mentioning, and absolutely 100% correct. But what the Britishers did in 1934, they broke it down to many subcastes. So there's not one Shudra. You know, it was a very simple thing. You had the Brahmin, the Kshatriya, the Banya, the Shudra, right? But it's not the case anymore. So that is where the complication is much higher. I can rant out 20 different castes just under the, what we would call lower caste. Then you have a separate set which is called the OBC, the other backward classes. Now everybody is wanting a census only based on caste, so that more you know which percent vote is where. So problem is, it is not that simple anymore. And the politicians have complicated it because that serves them very well. That serves their purpose. So if you see, from just by your description, and you're going into what was part of our scriptures, which is true, then there have been presidents. Then backwards have reached the top. There's no doubt about that. In India, being chief ministers, presidents, they've reached the top. But backward by itself is more complicated now than it ever was. So, I don't know, in Hindi I'll just say that and I'll explain it. Now you have a Dalit and you also have a Ati Dalit. Now these are official classifications on which reservations and economics and government assistance is decided. So one is that you have a Dalit and then you have a more Dalit. I wouldn't say media is responsible for a lot of wrongs in India. There's no doubt about that. And I'm no great advocate of the media right now. I'm very blunt about it. I've been on record saying that television news channels should shut down for the larger sake of democracy.
And Abhigyan, a television person is asking a television person the same question.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair enough. But my point is this. You are saying that when you do the numbers, which is psephology, you minutely identify and project the caste equations. As a result of that, you in your own way are equally casteist and promoting casteism. That's your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you an answer to this. No. What is happening is, because that is the political reality which you have to reflect through numbers. It's a political reality. It's not a reality set by the media. It's a political reality that you have to...
But earlier it was not.
So no, 1 second. Get the point. It's a political reality that you have to reflect to the numbers. The pocketing of those numbers become more dominant. In a vote bank. So when you say that you're looking at the Kammas shift in Karnataka, you know, or there are so many other factors, or the Marathas, the way they would go. So it's impossible then to do your numbers when you don't look at the minutiae. So I would not say media per se, but, and of course pollsters get it wrong. Psephology has been terribly discredited in India, like the media. But I would not entirely hold media responsible for highlighting it, because the underlying factor is already the casteist politics which has created the base. And therefore you have to go and identify that. And therefore you have to go and talk about it. And one point I must make, this was the longest thought and debate that I went through while writing this book. Do I write 2 chapters on caste? And as bluntly as possible. Will I also not be equally guilty of the question Anuranjan ji is asking? Not just that, I went a step ahead and first time wrote about how crime is also casteist and its uniqueness.
Yes, it is. In UP.
In UP. UP and Bihar both, but obviously this book is on UP. So I mustered up that courage that yes, I will face criticism. I'm open to it. But then I can't write a book on UP without the key reality. So that was my way of looking at it. But I also had the same questions, Anuranjan, in my mind as you have. That am I actually going to be a contributor to the darkness? Or will I actually turn the page around and say, okay, let's look at some light?